Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. So we're gonna continue with the sculpting of the forearm. Now, as you remember back from our lecture, the one thing I mentioned that's key in order to get a nice looking arm is to find where the bones are. So we already know where our elbow is. The only thing we need to find now are the bony landmarks on our pinky finger right there and on our thumb right there. We also know that at the sides of the elbow, we're going to find the epicondyles and this is the point where the things are going to originate from. So let me get rid of this. This was a little bit of a mistake there. Let's clean that up so that we get a clean slate here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place the flexors. Now, you remember that the flexors come from the inner side of the arm or the forearm. So I'm going to start adding volume here from the inner or internal epicondyle, creating the silhouette that we usually see for the arms, which is it's usually like a chicken leg, where you're gonna have a lot of volume here on the top, and then things start getting thinner and thinner as we get into the bony and tendinous parts of the arm. So this is gonna flow all the way here. Now here on the inner side of the palm, we're gonna have a couple of tendons that are pretty obvious. So what I like to do is I just carve a little bit there, a little bit here, and a little bit here, a little volume there and there, soften up. So that's pretty much the volumes that we usually see on the wrist. And in regards to the wrist, there's a lot of different types of arms. So some people have really thick wrists, some people have a little bit of a slimmer wrist. It will all depend on your character. From my personal experience, I think a thinner wrist helps for animation a little bit more and gives for a cleaner silhouette, like you can see here. Like you see how the curvature comes out and then it starts to go inwards towards the hand. So it's really nice to have that play going on there. From a external perspective here, we're gonna have the external or the extensors. Again, the extensors form here on the external epicondyle. Remember, we should have like a line here coming from you can use the shift button here. So click, shift, again, shift click, and then drop shift. There we go. That's a little bit too intense. Too soft. There we go. Let's keep it like that for now. So from this line, we're gonna see the extensors coming out and then throwing all their ligaments and whatnot to the top side of the hand. We'll talk about the hands next, so don't worry if they don't look super nice just now. I'm just adding a little bit of form here. Now, what's really gonna make this arm pop is the following addition. We need to add those two extra muscles, those partners that give us the whole silhouette for the arm. And those are the brachioradialis and the extensor carporadialis longus. Remember, they start all the way on the top here, on this side, right here. So if you remember, we had like a line that our tricep was going to give us right here. So from this line is from where the muscles are going to be born. We just start adding volume there. More and more volume. We can soften that a little bit. It doesn't have to be extremely big. And see how the arm starts becoming more like an arm? Now all of this will flow, remember, to the front of the arm, or toward where the soft part of the hand is. So these need to cross pretty much my arm this way and go to the inside. And again, this will very quickly change from fleshy and voluminous muscles into ligaments and tendons that are gonna become very fibrous and very thin. But you can see very fast there how this immediately gives us the complete look of the arm. Even from the back side, you can see the curvature there. Now, my next goal is to start trimming down whatever volume's not working for me. And here I want to show you the thing I was talking about earlier about the chain. Let me get rid of this. The arms, if you look at it from the front, you're gonna see that on the top side where the bicep is, it's gonna be a very thin silhouette. Okay, like so. Remember that the silhouette is gonna be given to us pretty much by the tricep on the back, like so. But then when we jump into the forearms, we're gonna have a change in silhouette where most of the silhouette is gonna be like this on the front. So again, you're gonna have like a very straight looking arm and a very round looking forearm. And then the hand, it's gonna go back to being very straight again, like this. You're gonna have the fingers and everything. On top of here with the shoulder's also gonna be very round. Remember that we had the angle, like the 45-degree angle. So we're gonna have this sort of wave-like motion going. So it's like a valley, or sorry, like a heel, and then valley, heel, valley. And this dynamic is what a teacher of mine used to call the water theory, or the water dynamic. And it means that every time you have a form pushing up, the next thing that needs to happen is for the form to push down. So you push up and you push down, you push up, you push down. And the same thing happens if you do the arm on the side view. I'm just gonna do white. You have the shoulder right here, and it's tricep, pushing out, and then bicep, pushing out here, and then flat, and then volume, and then flat, and then volume. See? Like there's gonna be, I suck at drawing, hopefully you can kind of get what I'm meaning by this water dynamic, but there's always going to be this like change in volumes where things flow from one side to another, and volumes and shapes pretty much go from one side to another. So if you look the arm from the side, the bicep and the tricep are going to have a lot of volume, but the forearm is going to be very, very flat. And if you look to the arm from the front, the arm is going to be, the arm is going to be very flat, and the forearm is going to have this nice curvature to it. Now, in the case of the female characters, what tends to happen is that the arms should go from thick on the shoulder to very, very thin on the hands. That's a stylistic choice, but it's usually what happens. And if you look like at the the Flintstones, and you see the design for the female characters, they used to do this a lot, where female characters had very, very nice looking shoulders, and then everything went into almost like a line, very soft and very thin right here, to give a very feminine look. While the men, usually if you think like Popeye, of course that's exaggerated, but the men used to have like a very square looking arm, and then just the arm, or the hand, sorry. So we can do the same kind of thing here. We can pretty much try to slim down the forearm so that as soon as it gets closer to the hand, everything becomes a little bit smaller. Not that much, because we don't want things to look extremely weird. And of course, I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna start smoothing stuff out, because we mentioned that Freya was not gonna be extremely toned. This is gonna help clean stuff up. We can add the anconeus muscle here, which again is gonna be like a Dorito here. And the anconeus is important because remember the triangular thing here? The anconeus pretty much breaks that thing and hides the rest of the bone. This ridge here, we're gonna make it slightly less prominent, and there we go. Female characters have that particularity where it's a little bit tricky to work a lot of the stuff that you need to do in regards to anatomy without overdoing it. So I suggest you go for the less is more approach. If you look at recent female lead characters in video games like Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, or Lara Croft from the newest Tomb Raider, you're going to see that in regards to silhouette, their form is not extremely exaggerated. It's more about the texture, it's more about, of course, the face, it's going to play a very important role, but arms, legs, and everything else, it doesn't tend to be extremely detailed, because, again, if you detail the things too much, then they start looking a little bit too masculine. And especially in this type of industry where masculinity and femininity, or if that's how you say it, are still valued in the traditional sense, we need to be very careful about that. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna grab my trim dynamic, just clean a little bit of that here, and let's take a look at the arm. So that looks really nice. I think I'm liking where it's going. I'm gonna grab my trim dynamic and just push the form a little bit there so that it's a little bit more flat on that side. There you go. Now, female characters tend to have this slight bend of the arms, where you can pretty much grab like the elbow here, move the pivot to the point where it bends, and twist the arm slightly up. Not much. If you saw that, that's like 3, maybe 5 degrees. I think 2 degrees or 3 degrees is more than enough. You're gonna see that the arms kind of get this nice little gesture to them, and that really helps to sell the fact that this is a female character. Male characters tend to be a little bit more straight in their poses and straight in their pretty much in all their factions. So for female characters, we can abuse the curvature of stuff to give a little bit more play to it. Make sure that the high point of the arm is gonna be up here. So you're gonna see like the high point there. But again, I don't want to exaggerate that much. And actually for female characters, you can see it here on the reference. Which reference is good? Yeah, this one's good. You can see that there's not a lot of volume here on the other side. The reason why you see these two spikes here is mainly because the wrist becomes really small. So that's what I'm looking for here. Like I do want to have a little bit of a spike here in volume to indicate that that's where the external carpal or the brachioradialis and the other one begin, but I don't want to exaggerate it as much. And finally, I mean, I know I repeat myself quite a bit in regards to this, but this all depends on the type of character you're doing. If you're doing like a climber, the bouldering guys or the climber guys, those guys have really strong arms. So you might see a different kind of anatomy there. And yeah, this is looking really nice. If you isolate this and only focus on the arms, torso, and back that we've been working on, this is looking really nice, both from a distance and in close-up in regards to the anatomy. Everything is there. Of course, not detail, quite there, but not yet. A great check for you is go to flat color and make sure that the silhouette is reading nicely from all angles. And if it is, then that means you're in a really good spot. For instance, here, I think one thing I could do is push the shoulders slightly out. Yeah, that works way better. And push the deltoid slightly in there. So maybe that was a little bit too much. All of this fine tuning and fine moving, you will be able to do it along the way. It's not necessary for everything to be perfect. You should know that it's an additive process, so things just keep going or should keep getting better and better as you move along in your sculpture. So just keep working, guys. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video when we review the hands. See you guys. Good luck.